what way can we define selfless?
Well, not concentrating on yourself, like we were saying before, to stand back and see others like yourself, to help them, to make space.
Can I define
for
it
them
as
to
wanting to give?
Or leading us to serve, could we say that?
To give?
Yeah.
Wanting to serve.
We would still be in connection with ourselves, though, and our own desires.
Of course.
We'd still have a desire to care for ourselves as much as we do to care for others.
Because you wouldn't want to serve others to your own detriment, because then, of course, you'd never be able to, your own self degrades, and then you can't serve anybody. Yeah. So it'll have that respect for yourself still in it. Yep.
Yes, I was thinking more like I have a child, and I like to see it and give it the opportunity to learn, not to hold it back. I was seeing it in those terms.
So you could say it is not. There's a word for that, and I'm just trying to look for it. Altruistic is probably the word I'm looking for. Yeah. How do you spell altruistic?
A-L. His stick, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's always looking for what's going to benefit the other person, not just itself. In today's society, we see that most of the time we're just looking to benefit ourselves. How can we benefit ourselves? And yet, true spirituality would always be looking for how can we benefit everybody here, not just ourselves. And it even has a feeling of forgetting oneself to a large degree. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't care for yourself, because you would still do that, but you forget yourself in the process, and you're working for a greater good rather than just for your own good.
So I think Mary's touching on it, but could you expand on that concept of martyrdom? Because most spirituality, particularly the female role, you seem to be a martyr, and it's very good to put everyone else first and yourself last.
Yeah, this whole idea that a good mother is a good martyr, basically, is certainly...
I've been trying to put that into practice, but it hasn't been
the martyrdom.
Great results.
No, there's not much good result from martyrdom. Let's have a look at it. That is, which is something that a lot of women are taught to be from a very young age, is it not? Like, in terms of you've got to look after your family, feed yourself last, do all of these things. This, from God's perspective, if we look at it, if you and I are equal, then I should love you to the same extent I love me. Is that not the case?
Is that in the Bible, love others as you love yourself?
As you love yourself.
It's kind of assuming you love yourself.
Exactly.
Yes, it's a big assumption, isn't it?
And many don't, I agree. But this is what we need to develop. If we are loving of others more than we love ourselves, we'll eventually become exhausted. We'll eventually become so tired that we can't do anything. If we love ourselves more than we love others, then we will exhaust others. Does that make sense? So if you look at the process of exhaustion, so let's say this is myself, and this is others. Right. If I love others more than myself, I become exhausted. If I drag others into looking after me or loving me more than I love myself, or more than I love them, then they will become exhausted. Either one is not loving. Now, if you apply that to a family with a mother, then obviously you can see that a mother needs to love herself as much as she loves her children. Right?
So is that tying in with self-responsibility?
Very, very much so. Very much so. Yep.
And it's difficult, isn't it? Because we have so many different ideas about what it means to love oneself, doesn't it? Some of us, it's, well, I should get whatever I want all of the time.
And that's not loving yourself.
No. Yeah.
And for some, it's other people I should be able to give other people what they want all of the time, and that's not loving yourself either.
Or them. Yeah.
So, the reality is, if you look at a lot of our children in today's society, many of them grow up with very, very strong demands because their parents have taught them that their parents are going to love them more than they love themselves. Yeah? And as a result, the children grow up believing that they should get everything they want to the parent's detriment. Now, if a parent truly loved themselves, they would not allow that kind of unloving behaviour to develop in their child. Yes?
Because also, if they truly love their child, they wouldn't want to breed a sense of entitlement in their child, because that would lead them to be an unloving person with everyone in their life. Yeah.
And you see a lot of mothers doing this now, like with their children. They sort of allow their children to do everything and anything they want, and allow them to yell and scream at them and demand everything from them and all these kind of things without restraint. And as a result of that, the mother just feels totally exhausted, which is the result of loving someone else or giving to someone else more than you're giving to yourself. So if you truly love others, you would not engage that process with them, particularly if they were demanding. You would actually have to confront their demands at some point. Yeah. Yeah. So there needs to be balance, and with love there is always balance. There is an equality with it. Loving yourself as much as you love everyone around you. Yeah. So if I love myself, I will be interested in my welfare. I will be concerned about my taking responsibility and all those kind of things. I will be. But if I love you as much as I love myself, I will do exactly those same things for you. And I'll actually help you do the same thing for yourself. Yeah. So martyrdom is not very... you could say, not very in line with true spirituality, could you? It's not very truly spiritual at all. Yeah.
There's something else we said here just on that point. We've talked about wanting to be self-reflective and connect to the real self, but what we're actually saying is that true spirituality requires a passion for the real self, a passionate desire for our real selves.
Yep.
So not just a begrudging admitting of who we are.
I've got 10 people last week tell me that I'm something, and I suppose I have to accept it. It's more like I want to know what I truly am. I want to understand my feelings properly, and in particular I want to understand that so that I can become more loving, so that I can become less selfish, so that I can help others better. So it's not driven by even a selfish motive that I'm more loving than you and I can prove it sort of thing. It's driven by a motivation of wanting to serve.